This is a special coffee break Bible study. I've had a couple people ask me about, is this election a mark of the end times? And what do you think about the election and the possible fraud? One, is it part of the end times? I don't think I don't see the U.S. mentioned in Scripture. Maybe alluded to, but I can't say that definitively. So I really don't think what goes on in the United States is like the mark of the end times or the beginning of the great 7-year tribulation. But I do think that God is working in history and he is bringing everything together. So it's a part of it, but I don't think because Joe Biden wins or Trump wins, does that mean that the end times has now started? I don't think God's focused primarily on United States politics, although I think God has used the United States greatly. Number two, I think with the voter fraud allegedly, I think Al Gore did it, and so it's fair if the Republicans do it as well, to check some places where they think there might be voter fraud. I think you should verify the ballot, make sure it belongs to a legitimate, registered, living voter. And then I should assume that whoever they voted for, if it is legitimate, that would count. And whether that goes for Biden or goes for Trump, so be it. I do think that there is that right that they have to contest things. I see that in the laws of election, and that happens before, hopefully, the Electoral College gets the votes. And number three, I would like to read from Romans 13. It says this: let every person be subject to the governing authorities, for there is no authority except from God, and those that exist have been instituted by God. Therefore, whoever resists the authorities resists what God has appointed, and those who resist will incur judgment. And whether that judgment is from the authorities or from God, maybe both, maybe one, maybe the other. But God places authorities there. And this was written, Paul wrote this to the Roman Christians when Nero, a very wicked authority, was in power, a very godless, nasty person. So if you don't care much for Trump, you don't care much for Biden, you're upset about the election, God's ultimately in control of what's going on. That doesn't mean you don't do recounts or pray for a person or wish that there was a different outcome, but you got to rest that God has history under control, and that is actually his story. Have a super day.